Hello. So today is this video is a bit of an add-on to the video I did a few days ago where I talk about how to have successful relationships, a few tips for dating, and so forth. I just did a bunch of weed eating, so I don't know if you ever used a gas-powered weed eater, but you have to grip really hard for quite a while, make your hands shaky. So I don't know, we'll see how this goes. Well, I talk about introverts. Introverts are like volcanoes. Now, if you are an introvert, then you probably know what I'm talking about. But I want you to imagine a movie where the main character is shy, reserved, obviously an introvert, but who is a man or a woman of deep feelings, who tends to kind of sweep those under the rug, not say much. But in this movie, you see things escalating, and it finally comes down to that pivotal, climactic moment where our main character decides to rush in and have his or her say. And as you watch this happening, you're like, oh no, this is not going to be good. And of course, it usually isn't that great. And so, let's talk about this. First of all, why is it that people are introverts? How do they get that way? And why is it that these days this phenomenon is more and more common? You know, speaking for myself as a introvert, and you know, this is not supposed to be a pity party or anything like that. I'm just saying this has been my experience. You know, when I was growing up, I was rather shy. I was definitely not the cool kid. I didn't know how to dress. I didn't know how to act. I didn't know the right things to say. I didn't follow sports. In fact, I detested sports. I still do. And throughout most of my life, when I've tried to join in a conversation, I'll be mid-sentence and somebody else will just, you know, start talking as if I didn't even exist. And you know how that feels. So, you know, you're sent this message again and again over the weeks, months, years that you don't matter, that nobody cares about what you think or what you feel. And that's frankly how most people feel about themselves, because most people are treated that way. And for most people, that's been their experience. And so for most people, as we go through life and we have these relationships, we do not make as much effort as we should to have beneficial conversations with those who matter most. And so my advice is really simple. And I'm saying this because this is not what I did yesterday. So you can maybe learn from my mistakes. If there's someone you feel like you really need to talk to, rather than just bursting in and saying, hey, I need to say something, you shut up. Rather than doing that, it'd be far better if you encounter that person or those persons, say, hey, there's a few things I'd really like to share with you. Is this a good time? Or could we have a brief discussion at another time and place? And that is by far the better way to engage a conversation with somebody who, well, in a situation that could be volatile. And maybe they'll want to know what it's about. I think it's only fair to say, hey, here's what I want to talk about. If they press you for more, say, look, I'd like to have this conversation in a time and a place where we can really follow through and have a beneficial discussion here. And in addition to that, ask permission. Say, hey, here's what I'd like to talk about. Is it okay with you if we discuss this? I'm not here to preach. I'm not here to tell you what to do. But I got a few ideas and perspectives I'd really like to share with you for your consideration. And that way you can have an equal playing field. You're not going to be perceived as someone who's trying to force their views. And in any conversation, it's always a good idea to start with some questions. A wise man first seeks to understand and then to be understood. So, rather than being the volcano that all of a sudden erupts, makes everybody mad, be the communicator. Be the one who knows how to tread lightly, how to be diplomatic, make a request, get permission, engage in a conversation at the right time, at the right place, in the right way, ask intelligent questions, first seek to understand, and then to be understood. You'll be far better off. So that's the first. There's one more thing I'd like to say. In that last discussion, we talked about when you're having a relationship with someone of the opposite sex. Again, it's a really good idea to open up and talk to the family, especially the parents of the person you're having that relationship with. So for me, in just the last 3 days, I've had a bit of a confrontation with my son and my daughter's relationship interests, and quite frankly, both of those encounters could have gone better. And that was both my fault and a little bit their fault too. So there you go. Till next time.